This clip is taken from my podcast, Inside the Game. If you want to watch the full interview, click the link. It's in the description.
And the reason I moved to Everton was the academies were just starting up. So Ray comes back to me and he says, we're going to need someone to be in charge full-time of all the schoolboy players.
Okay.
Do you want the job? Well, I know that Howard Wilkinson is saying thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
So, of course, it was, yeah. So I negotiated a nice little leaving package in the morning with the FA and turned up at Belfield in the afternoon ready to start. So, I need to thank Ray, obviously, for the full-time opportunity. So I started in charge of the schoolboys. And Colin had come back as the youth coach. So we started together as the two main academy coaches. And I always remember he said to me, Neil, you tell them how to, you teach them how to kick it, I'll teach them the rest. And we kind of worked on that basis.
Wow. So how did you find that then, going from obviously the national level back into Everton and starting something new? Really, it was in its infancy, wasn't it?
It was in its infancy, but it was really exciting.
Yeah.
And all the clubs, and again, you'll appreciate in our area in the Northwest, United, City, Liverpool, Everton, the competition to get the best players was fierce.
Yeah.
Fierce. I remember being in a conversation with Colin and Ray, and we knew that in years gone by, blues such as Steve McManaman, Robbie, Michael Owen, Jamie had all gone to the Red side.
Yeah.
And us kind of making a pact that was it. There was going to be no more. That was our aim in life. No more blues end up over there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because I really don't know the evidence, but I'm pretty sure for a long time after that there wasn't any really. So we managed to recruit the blues.
Yeah.
And we tried really hard to do that. There's a guy called Martin Waldron was brilliant at recruiting. And we also targeted the Reds because we knew if we got them, we'd get the blues anyway. Not initially. We had to work really hard to develop a reputation.
Yeah.
A reputation around being really for the youngsters, being about, if you like, the kids first. So Ray, ex-PE teacher, myself, ex-PE teacher, Mike Dickinson, ex-PE teacher. Ray was quite clever with how he recruited, and we targeted the youngest players, 6, 7, 8 years of age. You were only allowed to sign them at 9. Liverpool were doing the same.
Yeah, of course.
And the kids, Connor Cody would be a great example. They would bounce between the two, and eventually they had to make a decision to sign. And in that era, thankfully, we got most of them. Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Most of them.
One you did get was Wayne Rooney, who,
yes,
I mean, is he, probably putting it on the spot, but is he the most talented young player you've ever seen? You can say no if it isn't. I'm just saying.
He'd be
up there
in a group.
Right, okay.
There'd be Wayne, who you can easily argue would be. Joe Cole, that had seen at the national
fantastic,
school, was incredible with what he could do with the ball at his feet. Stephen Gerrard, obviously, as we've already discussed. And I'm going to put Francis Jeffers in the same group. Okay. Francis, listen to how I call him. Don't call him Francis. Francis introduces himself to my daughters as, "Hiya, I'm Francis. I'm your dad's biggest regret." And the regret really is, Franny should have played for England alongside Wayne for 10 years. He was that good. Wenger got it right. He was definitely a fox in the box. He could predict where that ball was going to be, and he had great ability to score. And it's not for me to say why it didn't happen. Maybe you interview him. I'm sure he'll explain. Yeah,
it was Franny Jeffers was weird because he looked like he just reminded me so much of Ian Rush, the way he could, like you're saying, predict where the runs is. He should bend his run brilliantly. He was cool, and it looked like he was going to be our striker for a few years, and then obviously.
So can you imagine what it was like for us, me, but us as a staff at Everton? We get told that England are going to play Australia, and he's going to. It was Sven Goran, I think, wasn't it? And he picks 22 players, and they're going to change the team at half time. And in the second half, the two front players are going to be Jeffers and Rooney, and that's Wayne's first game, I think.
Yeah.
I've still got a programme. Must be worth a fortune. Wayne and Franny signed it. Amazing experience. And we were having these experiences non-stop, year after year after year, with the young players, and you just think it's going to last forever, and of course it doesn't, does it?
No.
But it was an incredibly special time for everybody at Everton's academy, and ultimately the whole club.
Yeah, but it was a fantastic time. In terms of Rooney, then what? I've spoke to Ray Hall, and Ray is, you know, scoring this goalless overhead kick at United. I think it was at United and something else, you know.
Yeah.
And when you looked at him, because he scored tons of goals, didn't he? And obviously, when you're involved in kids, you watch kids football. I've been doing it with my lad. You watch and you see, you know, the odd play and go, oh, straight away he looks good. But what was that like with Wayne then?
Good, yeah.
Yeah, he looks okay. He's not bad.
Wayne always played up an age group.
Yeah, which is...
and then I think we did okay in that we also... I remember they played Manchester City and he got battered, which is strange to imagine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Physically, he got beat up. And Jeanette's mum said, Neil, I'm not so sure I like this. And so we just put him back in his own age group very briefly, while he physically, and I know people will just think he was always like this man. Yeah. Well, he wasn't. And then in the summer of his under-14 year, he came back and he played in the under-15s pre-season game against Tranmere Rovers, and he'd become Wayne Rooney. Okay. He was able to just run past people easily. He was able to kind of power in confrontations people who were 2 years older than him easily. And Tranmere, again, in that era, they weren't easy to play against. They had a reputation for being aggressive and tough. And here's a young kid who's just basically swatting them away and scoring goal after goal after goal. So that was when I think and people will say, oh, you could tell at 8 or 9. Well, I've got to say, that was my moment when I thought, wow, you're pretty special. Yeah. Not like the best player at Everton, not the best player on Merseyside. Wow. Yeah. Because I'd had that experience at the National School of seeing the best in the country, and I'm thinking, he's better than all that. So that was it, and he went from there. I've got so many stories, most of which I've shared with him in the last 6 months. We've had some good conversations. He remembers, by the way, every goal from when he was 10 through to everything else he's done. His memory is incredible.